it's Chala Dinkoy. Welcome to Tea Time with Chala. I am the founder and CEO of the Repositioning Expert. It's getting later and later. Outside it's getting so dark. In the winter, I don't even remember how I used to do this. It's crazy. Look at the lighting's all off. I look a little bit ghosty. Well, we're gonna have to take care of some of this lighting. I'm gonna have to get my ring light again. So, hope you guys are having a good Tuesday night. This is my little teacup. I'm gonna take a sip. Today's topic is, and I've got my trusty little light box here. This is like a light box here. It is about the 5 sales email don'ts. So these are the mistakes not to make. And this is based on a new research by Blue Mail Media. I'm always looking for research to find out, to give you some gems, to base some advice, to give you some gems. And they're all recent and they all talk about the trends, and especially during COVID or after COVID, lots of things have changed, lots of trends are emerging. So I want to stay on top of them, and I want to make sure that the people in this room who are B2B CEOs and other people who are watching this repurposed all over my social media are seeing what kind of trends are emerging that they need to be on top of. So sales emails, email rules what they call the marketing jungle. It is like the king of marketing tools. And the reason for that is it's got $44 for every, it brings $44 of revenue for every dollar spent on an email. So that's a 4,400% ROI. It's crazy. So here's, and if you think the email is dead, think again. If your emails are not working, I have a whole training about sales emails that stink and what you can do to fix it. But before you get there, let me just talk to you about some of the big don'ts. So the big don'ts, the first one is don't forget mobile. I'm actually filming this on my phone. It's on this little tripod, and everything that you can do now in marketing has to be applicable to the mobile, because here's a statistic: 53% of emails are opened only on mobile. So if your website or your emails are not optimized to mobile, you're already looking like a has-been. You're already gone way by the wayside. So a don't number 2 is generic greetings. You know, when you're saying hello to people, don't make it generic. Personalize it, because personalized emails get 6 times higher transactions. So people are actually clicking and buying off of hello Chala rather than hello friends. Do you see the difference? Huge. In Canada, On Constant Contact, which is my email company that I use, didn't used to allow names, personalization in the subject title. Now they do. Now you can put emojis, you can put personalization. So, personalization has to be at the top of everything that you do online anyway, because when I'm working with my social sellers, the number one thing that we do is we reach out with the person's name. That's why we can't just cut and paste. We have to at least type in their name. And there are bots that exist that allow you to, like ManyChat, which is what we use in this group, which allow customization with the person's name, but still mass mailing. So those are some of the tricks and tricks and tips that are available to you. Okay, don't number 3, call to action. Well, if you're not even adding a call to action, you really should. But the number 3 don't is too many call to action buttons in the same email. So don't do that, because here's the statistic around that. Emails with only 1 call to action button increase clicks by 371% when they're compared to 2. So if you have too many offers, and this is the same thing as what I'm teaching all the time about reduce the number of options that you give to a prospect. In fact, super niche on one, focus on one offer, focus on one direction, and you're gonna grow like crazy. Because remember the jam test where they did the test of they had the 6 different jams versus just the 2 jams, and the group that had to choose between the 6 ended up buying a lot less dollar ring at the end of the day versus the 2 that had to make a choice between the 2. Because the conundrum of the complex decisions that you're throwing at them by throwing too many options is that it doesn't convert as well. So remember, let me remind you of the tip number 1 was if you forget mobile and you don't optimize to mobile for your email. Tip number 2 is don't forget the generic don't do a generic greeting. Remember to personalize it. Tip number 3 is don't do too many call to action buttons. And a call to action is buy here, register here, book a call here, some form of action, right? And so moving on to don't number 4 is buy lists, like email lists, generic email lists. Go ahead and buy them. It's a don't. You know why? 45% of emails, all emails go to spam every day. That is 1.4 billion emails. So if your email list is not organically grown, or it has not been double verified or double clicked, or people have not given their consent, then they are not going to see it. It's going to be in their spam, and almost half of all the money poured into emails goes to the garbage. Nobody ever sees them, and that's a shame. Because people like me are writing good messages that nobody's seeing if you don't put in the effort and you don't have the funnels to have people actually want to be part of your emailing list. That's part of what we do with clients. Okay, so don't number 5 is don't use boring me too subject lines. One of the biggest things that I've learned in my marketing career is how to jazz up subject lines. And they are always shocking, and they are always provocative. They are always personal. And I do trainings just on subject lines. And 35% of people, that's over a third, open only based on the subject line. They open an email only based on the subject line. So imagine if you had a good subject line, you're obviously going to get way more traction on that email. So those were the 5. Again, the mobile, don't be generic in terms of your greeting, personalize it, don't have too many call to action buttons, and don't buy lists. Make sure that people are actually interested in your content, that they've signed up for your list. And then, of course, don't use boring, me too, generic subject lines. Make it personable, make it interesting. Worst case, you can Google what subject lines are the highest opened, and sometimes I do that too, and they always work. So I want to tell you about what I'm doing this Friday and then next Thursday in the lead up to the next big bootcamp live launch. And I'm calling them mini masterminds. And I did one last week, and it was about how to formulate your message so that it's concise, that people can understand what you do. And on this Friday at 2 p.m., it's going to be a mini mastermind called how do you stand out from the competition? So that all of these little mini masterminds are accelerating your learning to get you prepared to do the big September 21st 9-day live launch training, which is the B2B Elevator Pitch Bootcamp. So part of the mini mastermind series is last week we did the how do you make your message concise so that everybody can understand you. This week we're doing the how do you stand out from your competition, and next, instead of Friday, Thursday, we're meeting at 2, where to meet corporate buyers during COVID. Now, how do you get onto these amazing trainings? You get a Zoom link as soon as you register for the B2B Elevator Pitch Bootcamp. And it's important that you see these either recordings or come live, because there's going to be, information that is preparing you and leading you up to the Elevator Pitch Bootcamp. So sign up for the Elevator Pitch Bootcamp. Go to repositioner.com/bootcamp. It's on September the 21st. We go live at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have 5 days of training with 4 days of bonuses. There's going to be lots of demonstrations of elevator pitches being fixed. We're going to teach you how to develop an angle to get into the buyer's door. We're going to teach you how to be relevant in their eyes. We're going to teach you how to have a reason other than price to compete with your industry, and how to generate completely unplanned, unforeseen, or unprecedented incremental revenue during this time, during COVID and right after this pandemic, how you're going to make extra revenue in addition to what you already do. So these are some of the things that we're going to teach you in the B2B Elevator Pitch Bootcamp, where again, we start on September the 21st. Go ahead and sign up. It's at repositioner.com/bootcamp. And in the meantime, don't forget to come to the mini masterminds that's going to prepare you and give you more information about your messaging, how to position yourself, how to pitch yourself, and how to polish what you're saying so that you can get more clients. All right, guys, this was a short one. I kind of miss Logan. He's not here, but I get him tomorrow. So good night to everyone, and I'm going to really try to do something about the lighting. This underneath my face lighting is just not working for me. All the best, everyone. Take care.